Welcome, thank you for being here in spite of the corona. And in the coming 40 minutes, something like that, I would like to take you a little bit into my world, and I'm really focused on the business side of APIs rather than the technology. Although that I am already for a long time in the IT industry, that's me, Ruben. I'm the founder and CEO of Yenlo, and Yenlo is an international company delivering awesome API and integration technology and services around the world. And that makes me, I'm a proud founder, because in this role I have the privilege, and I really would like to say privilege, because to me it's an honor. I have the honor to travel across the world and talk to many companies out there about their digital journey, about their digital acceleration. And I have the luxury position to say no. So when I don't like a company and I don't like their strategy, I simply say no, walk away. And by that, I only pick and choose the real project that matters. And I do that from Yenlo with several offices around the world. So I travel across these offices to meet with customers and meet with projects. And we were already chit-chatting. I think you all are customers of my customers, and you are all business partners of my business partners. Like Austria, Gebroeders Weiss in Freiburg, logistic transport company. Germany, we have many companies in Germany. Among our customers like Trumpf, Deutsche Bahn and Hanseatic Bank, when the airports are open again, you recognize them from the credit cards. So I have the privilege to talk with these customers, implement, work with their business, and come up with an API strategy for those companies. And let us dive into a little bit the journey my customers had, and maybe you can pick and choose the lessons learned. So, many of these companies exist already since the 70s and the 80s. They start as an analog company. And I don't know if you know the waves we all have been through, the waves of digital acceleration, but companies started as an analog company, or they stepped in somewhere in this lifeline, in this curve, depending on their existence, the many years of existence. Hi, welcome. I have one spot left in the back for you. So the first wave we had with these customers I talked to is the digitalization. That's also what Matt was talking about. So they all started with computers and so on. And that helped in achieving a certain point of operational excellence. And operational excellence is all about making your company ready to earn more by making less costs. The real important wave that started is, of course, the internet. So most of my customers started somewhere either on the analog timeline or when the internet came up. Let me tell you a story about Deutsche Bahn. I think Deutsche Bahn exists over hundreds of years. So that's a really traditional, old-fashioned company. But I also have in Switzerland, maybe you know it, it's near to you, mobility, working with SBB, the Swiss Bahn. That's a mobility is a company who's really somewhere there on that line. And I will tell you, they all have something in common. So let me get there. So the third really important wave we had is the social media. So what does it bring to companies is that suddenly the customer had a lot of influence in the demand of your services and products. They had an opinion, and if they don't like you, they will kill you on the internet and you are out of business. And this is really important to understand also now, today, when you talk about an API strategy. So the social impact which we encountered still today is really important for companies like TikTok or Spotify or Facebook. Because when the public opinion change, suddenly your whole business can be drowned you can be bankrupt basically. And of course, obviously, the last wave, here is the status cloud. I would like to rename it, rebrand it more in everything is as a service. If what you are doing is not as a service, you have to be careful if you are still relevant tomorrow. And why is this important to understand a little of our history in the digital acceleration is the reason behind it. Why do we do what we do? And among all those logos I presented and the 400 plus projects I did, you saw three things, three ideas of companies to come to their end game, to the end goal. So the first, I have customers who are looking for customer intimacy. I want to be closer to the buying persona. I want to be closer with the person who is buying my product or my digital service, and I want to understand that person, and by that create loyalty and have retention, recurring revenues, and it's all about generating more revenue. So when I look at examples like Deutsche Bahn, I like to pick that one because we have everybody knows them and have some Germans in the room. When you are a very traditional company from the 60s, 70s, and you all have legacy system, and when your customers are demanding more and more, seeking for the customer intimacy is very important to keep your revenue going. Other companies chose, no, we want to lower our costs. So we're looking for operational excellence. So when you talk about an API strategy with those kind of companies, it's not about the consumer, it's not about your end customer, it's about your business partner. How can I lower my cost for transport, for manufacturing systems, for my interaction with SAP? So then the API strategy is about lowering your cost. By that you make more profit as a company. And you hear already in my speech that money is a thing here. I also have customers who say, no, I must stay relevant, because when I don't do it, then my competitor will do. So when I stay a traditional company with fax machines for ordering, or a web shop with just a buy button, like we did in the 90s or the early 20s, and your competitor is much more innovative, you're out of business. So I have customers who want to stay relevant, or because of the social media, they need to be fast. When there is a new service, they want to deliver it fast. Hanseatic Bank, as an example, they are launching a new service, and it takes now from design, scratch time, to go into production 3 months to deliver a complete new banking service. In the early days, it took years to be up to speed with your technology and with your business processes to deliver a new product into the market. And why that's important for a customer like Hanseatic Bank for us is because they have competitors. They are part of Societe Generale, and now with the whole open banking, they want to deliver very fast, because the banking industry is opening up, and if they don't do it, the competitor will. So when you talk about APIs and an API strategy, it always drills down to those three influences. But in the end, if you are not a human-based enterprise like Red Cross or World Healthcare, your only reason that you exist as a company is about money and making profit. So the end goal is always either you should generate more revenue, or you should lower your cost by operational excellence. And when you contribute as IT, and when you contribute with your API strategy to one, or even better, to both of those characteristics, then I think you have a winning API strategy. I always tell inside Yenlo, yeah, we don't build APIs for fun. We don't build it for fun because I like it so much to make an OpenID connection and OAuth tokens, and it's for fun. Of course, as a technical person, I'm very technical, I really like it, but it doesn't bring me business. It doesn't bring my customers further. So you always have to question yourself, especially when you are in IT. When I do something, and especially when an API strategy, do I generate revenue? Do I lower the cost? Or do I stay relevant with this API? And I was discussing this with my daughter. I was in Austria, in Kaprun on holiday, and I was there with my family. And my daughter is 11 years old, and I said, hey, shall we present together? And she wanted to be online, and we did some interview together. But due to lack of time, I chose to have a real holiday. It didn't went through. But during that discussion, I was thinking, as we are sitting here in the room, who is our customer in 5 years or 10 years' time? So who is our buying persona in the coming years? And what do you need to do today to be relevant in a couple of years? So when you're an airline, or you are an IT software vendor in the production area, what do you need to do today to be relevant for your buying persona tomorrow, like my daughter or my son? And why is this important? Because I want to drill down to the key essence. And she said, yes, I'm a huge fan of TikTok. TikTok is really popular, especially now Trump is putting some effort on it. So let's watch what Bill Gates is going to do. But when you look at TikTok, for instance, what did she say? I don't understand, Daddy. Why don't you make a system? I see a nice TikTok movie with a girl in a nice dress. I like the dress. I press on the dress, and suddenly the next day it's here on my table. So why can I not buy a product with the ease of my fingertip from an application like TikTok or YouTube or whatever is the application of that moment? So she makes it very easy to me to say, okay, so when you think about that use case, what actually are you telling me? So to me, the key essence is two things, and one of them is relationships. To be able, as a TikTok company, to deliver such a service, so an in-app purchase of a dress somebody is wearing in one of the movies I don't know, I need to have a relationship with a lot of people. I need a relationship with my consumer, that's my daughter of 11 years old. But I also need a relationship with technology vendors for some magic intelligent algorithm to recognize the dress. I need a relationship with a company who sells the dress, or maybe multiple, because geographical locations. Maybe I need something from Amazon, or I need something from bol.com or Coolblue. I need some arrangements with logistic providers. I need some arrangement with the banking industry, but wait a minute, my daughter is living here and maybe the TikTok movie was in Japan, so how does it work? So I have to deal with a lot of relationships, and I have to think about the strategy. Do I do it myself? Or am I looking for an ecosystem like Matt was talking this morning about? So my daughter said, Daddy, the relationships are important in the near future. What am I having a relationship with my customer and with my business partner? And the second thing is what I call easiness. It must be as easy to consume a product or a service from you guys, everybody here, as easy as my fingertip. Press and it is done. Why should I log in to many websites and press that shopping cart buy button when you know already my address, you know already my dress size, you know already my favorite color? Why is it so complicated? So I think all of us here have the responsibility to think about the future and our next generation buying persona, how they are thinking. And in my opinion, a successful API strategy is only successful if we combine relationship and easiness of use. And that should be also translated back to technology. So when you develop an API, it must be very easy for everybody to understand how to consume it. So This is the reason why you should have standards, documentations, an API store, an API gateway, API security when you are in the security space. Unfortunately, yes, I like to travel, I have a lot of air miles, but going to all those logos, to all those companies and discussing with them, unfortunately, all those discussions start always about technology. And I have questionnaires, thousands and thousands and thousands of questions already. Does your API solution, is it secure? Is it high available? Is it this? And yes, 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 yes. I think you know that from tenders and RFP processes. So a lot of my customers, unfortunately, always start with selecting a technology to build their APIs. And I think, and I hope you get that message already, we should talk about that business. We should talk, what is your API going to contribute to your enterprise? Does it generate money or does it lower your cost? If not, quit. But unfortunately, people like hard facts. So they like to choose first a technology stack and then think about the APIs. And most of the time, I would say, it's an IT-driven decision. I think we should flip this. 80% should go over the business and IT department just pick one technology and go. There is no bad choice there, I think. When I look to the Forrester or Gartner reports, to me it's very simple. Check somebody from the leader quadrant and you're fine. There is no bad decision about technology. For sure, there are some criteria when you talk about technology, but it's not in the technology. All of them will say, yes, we can. Can you do this? Yes, we can. Do you use standards? Yes, we do. So the distinction is not in the technology. The distinction is, what are you going to do with your APIs? And the distinction is in the combination of products and technology. For me personally, but that's my personal opinion, we chose for WSO2. Why? It's open source. And let me stay there for a moment. Don't confuse open source with free, because it comes with money for support. Unfortunately, people think open source is for free, but that's not the case. Why? For me, open source is very important because everybody can look at the mess you created as a vendor. So WSO2 is a company. And all of those developers are being watched by thousands and thousands and thousands of other developers. So when somebody screws up on Monday evening, on Tuesday morning, they have the feedback already. So open source drives a higher level of quality for me. And it drives a company like WSO2 to deliver very fast. Because if you don't deliver, get back to the social media wave number 3, if you don't deliver, the community will kill you. So open source is for me a very important driver for high quality, and it is a driver for innovation. Of course, open standards. Unfortunately, there are still companies, and I'm in shock, to be honest, who are inventing their own interface, who are inventing their own security algorithms, who are inventing their own token mechanisms. And I think, guys, what in the heck are you doing? We know already what the standards are. Please use it. Why? I'm a huge of WSO2, but I'm also a huge of best of breed. So when I don't like it, the technology, just kick it out and replace it with something. When you stick to open standards and stick to out-of-the-box features, then you're fine. So honestly, forget RFPs, forget tenders, just pick and choose something from the leaders quadrant and you're fine. And focus on the business. Another reason why we chose for the open source WSO2 stack is the richness of features. I can mix and match API management, API gateway, micro-technology, Kafka, Camunda. I can combine it with an ESB. I can combine it with microservices. I can combine it with serverless. I can combine it with identity and access management, whether or not from the same brand. And that makes it very flexible to me to deliver to all those companies an API-first strategy. So, a piece of marketing from our side. So, when I walked and talked to all of those customers, I always hear, we are special. Each company thinks they are special, but trust me, nobody is. The only thing that makes them special is that 1% secret sauce in the product or service, not the technology, not the business process. So, well, companies keep talking about technology. I said, I know already what you want. You don't have to talk to me because you need high availability and you need scalability. And trust me, you need security and you need support and you need guaranteed delivery. You need quality. You need everything. I know that because all the companies need that. Why? Because everybody's in the third or the fourth wave. We have the social media impact. Each company is 24/7 these days. So, honestly, talking a little bit gossip here, Computer Weiss, a very traditional company back in Austria, they said, yes, we have office hours. I said, really? You have office hours? Do you think the border closed at night? Do you think customs closed at night? No, of course not. That your trucks are driving during daytime, that's fine, but that doesn't mean you are an office hour company. You are a 24/7 company, whether you like it or not, because your customers are. And they want to know where the package is in the middle of the night. So whether you like it or not, you are a 24/7 company. So when you talk about API management, when you talk about B2B integration, when you talk about customer intimacy, you must have this in place, whether you like it or not. So, what we did with Yenlo is said, okay, we did so many hundreds and hundreds of projects. And when this is common, and when open source is common, and interoperability is common, why don't we make a blueprint? Why don't we make the most awesome architecture that embrace it all? Why don't we use cloud technology? Why don't we use serverless technology? Why don't we use open standards and open source technology and combine all of those characteristics? Because then we can stop discussing about technology and we get finally to that business question. That's what we did, and that's Connext. So Connext is a full middleware platform as a service, and again, as a service. And to illustrate this with a use case, one of our customers, Mobility. So Mobility is a rather fresh company, and they understood one thing. It came a little bit from the US. It's not about pay what you own, so it's not about possessing artifacts or assets, it's about pay what you use. So they created a concept of cars, electrical bikes, mopeds, motors, and so on. They are spread all across Switzerland. And in Switzerland, like in all European countries, you have the EID. So in Holland we have DigiD, that's my social security login. In Switzerland you have Swisspass. So what did Mobility did? They thought about relationships. Okay, let's go to all the public transport companies. So they went to SBB, they went to bus companies, tram companies, metro companies, all the public transport companies, and commercial transport companies. That's one thing. And he said, let's build an ecosystem. Let's create an ecosystem whereby you still deliver your service or product, like a train, and I deliver the last mile. So the mileage between your home and the station to your office. So they spread all across Switzerland, all this kind of cars or whatever you like, e-bikes. And they went to the government and said, hey, you have this great identity thing. It's called Swisspass. So why not go to a car, just put my Swisspass there, and the door opens and you can drive. Because as soon as I know who you are, based on your Swisspass, I know where you live, I know where to send an invoice. So they're live now at the moment with 5,000 people, and next month they open it up for the whole country. And this is a great example of an ecosystem whereby with one identity, a national identity who everybody has because everybody has to pay the taxes, you can use a car, you can use an e-bike for as long as you want, wherever you want. With the same Swiss ID, I can go to the railways and I can go to the bus. And in the end of the month, I only pay for the amount of kilometers I make use of that transportation. So mobility created a complete disruptive approach in a well-established, old-fashioned, traditional public transport system. And to me, that's awesome. And I think you understand that behind this is, of course, everything is APIs with your business partner. It's all about open standards to exchange all the data in real time. But you cannot do this if you don't anticipate on high availability, scalability, security. So that's a no-brainer. So when we start engaging with them, you said, let's not talk about that. Trust me on one thing, I provide that with my cloud-based platform. So you don't have to think anymore about scalability, because we make use of Amazon. Amazon scales with us instantly, faster than you even can blink with your eyes, as long as you do it in the correct manner and make use of the as-service concepts. Don't invent the wheel yourself. No mobility, when you do this, let's talk about your business. How are they going to pay? How much are you going to pay to SBB? How much are you going to pay for your car manufacturer? How much are you going to pay to your e-bike? Because this concept fails if you have just one e-bike in the city. No, it must be thousands. E-bike everywhere, a car everywhere. Because the only way how this works, if people adopt your service. And they were relieved. They said, okay, so the technology, it's a given, it's just one checkbox. We don't have to make thousands and thousands questions to select a vendor. And we trust you with the whole cloud-first approach. So, getting back to an ending, I have a couple of minutes left. A couple of takeaways from my use case and storylines. First of all, I don't know about you, but I work already 60 hours a week, most of us 40 hours a week. And I would like, well, in Corona, I hope you work a little bit harder. Think about what you do, because you only have one life, 1 week, and I don't know about you, but each month I'm, Jesus, again, a month is gone, and again and again. Time is so fast, so be aware of the time you spend in life. So think about yourself. You only have 40 hours a week, normally, in a normal company where you work. And you have to read your email, you have to drink coffee, you have to talk with your colleague, to do a lot of stuff. So there is not much time left to work, actually. So if you create an API that doesn't contribute, throw it away, remove it, nobody will use it. Secondly, ownership. So whether you call it a product owner or a manager or leadership, doesn't matter, but try to get somebody from the business involved. Because when you're from IT and you are pushing your technology, you're pushing your API strategy, and nobody from your company on business level is involved, it won't fly. Because they don't have any interest in what you're doing. They want to sell or they want to earn by lowering costs. So that business owner doesn't have to put a lot of effort in it, but he must be part of your team to be successful. Third, open standards. I think I can be rather quick on that. If you don't use open standards, please stop. Really spend your time somewhere else. You only have 40 hours a week. So then don't spend time of non-open standards. And last but not least, it sounds really easy, but you see it already with the icon. Celebrate. It's really difficult for people to see an API. If you ask me, can you show me the platform, our Connect platform, it's difficult. I can show you a product, but I'm not able to show you the philosophy. I'm not able to show you electricity other than a graph. So celebrate your success is really important, especially back to the business owners. So as soon as you release an API, also release a dashboard and please tell everybody how much that API was consumed, or how much money it generated, or how many costs were saved, or how successful that API is. Because by that people are, wow, great, do you have more? And you will see, I did it many, many times with all these customers, and you will see it will fly as soon as you celebrate. Maybe you think it's really small, but trust me, business owners, managers who make decisions about money, again that money, are really liking that kind of dashboards. I will tell you one. We are part of a dashboard around Corona here in Holland, and I really like the numbers, up or down. So also in that case, there are a lot of APIs in behind here in Holland about the Corona testing, where we are a little bit on the line, on the B2B line, and it's so important to show statistics. It's really important to tell people what your API is doing. That were my 4 key takeaways for creating a successful API strategy. So I want to thank you. And if no questions, then I consider it that you really understood my talk. If you have a question, then I have to do some homework. So who wants to give me some homework? Great, and I expect a 10+ in evaluation. And somebody online? We have, 60, 70 people? Wow, 80? Oh, right. No, no questions, so thank you so much. We are around here today, so I have some colleagues sitting around, so if you want to know more about those projects, I'm more than happy to share information with you. Thank you.